Hi guys, we are taping episode 38 of Virtual Global Freakin Pandemic Yoga. Oh my gosh, 38 classes like this. I never in a million years thought this would be the case last March. But here we are, and I'm thankful to be with you. Thankful that this platform translates as well as it does, and that when I see lots of you throughout the week, whether it's walking or in my live classes, you tell me that you're still doing these and that you're still enjoying them. So I'm glad for that. I'm grateful for that. Today we're going to take it easy. I'm filming this on Friday. You're gonna be able to see it tomorrow, but I have already taught 2 classes today and walked a bunch of miles this morning, and I went to Costco, which is basically like going into a war zone right now. Any store. I hate it. I hate it right now. So we're going to take it easy today. One of you I saw this morning, and you requested that we do things with the strap, the hip opener that we like to do with the strap, as well as some shoulder openers with the strap. So that's what we're going to do. Might be a little bit shorter of a class, but we'll target the big groups, the shoulders and the hips, and should feel good when you're done. Okay, so if you don't have a strap, you just need a long scarf or a long belt or anything long and thin that's sturdy. You want it to be about 6 feet or longer. You can also, for the future, go onto Amazon and order straps. You can usually get a 2-pack pretty inexpensively, or if you happen to run into Target for something, you can buy them there as well. So grab your strap, grab your mat, grab a blanket or a beach towel or something to sit up on, and get comfy on your mat. And I'll see you there in a minute. I'll give you a minute to get your straps, okay? My hip just cracked. Oh my goodness. I taught live this morning from 9 to 10. And then from 10:15 to 11:15, and I woke up around 6:45 so that I could walk some miles and do my own workout beforehand. And then after I taught, I went to Costco, so I feel like it should be 10 o'clock at night right now, because you know when you go to Costco and you come home, you have to put all that crap away, and that's like a whole other situation. It's not as simple as just bringing it in the house. It's washing stuff and prepping stuff and finding room in the fridge and the pantry for all the giant size items, and it takes forever, you know. So that's where I'm at today. My brain is shot. I feel like it should be 10 o'clock at night, but it's not. Sadly, it's like 3:30 or something. So lay on your back. Put your strap, if you've got it, next to you on the ground. If you don't have anything that you can use as a strap today, I'm going to show you another option. It's not as comfortable or as, I want to say easy, but that's not really the right word. It's not as comfortable. We'll just stick with that. But it'll work in a pinch. If you don't have a strap and you plan to continue doing yoga, whether it's with me or with someone else, just moving forward, it's a good idea to have a strap and just keep it in your bag or wrap it around your mat, or just have it at the ready for when you need it, because you never know. And sometimes, even if you're not doing a strap specific pose, it comes in handy for something. So good idea to pick one up. Ideally, try to get the 8 foot. 6 foot is fine, 8 foot is better. So there you go. Lay on your backs, arms at your side, palms up, and find your breath. Inhaling and exhaling like usual, bringing the breath all the way down into the low belly, holding it there for just a second before you exhale, and then slowly releasing it back out. So in my adult class this morning, we did this strap opening pose, which I think is why the woman who was in that class requested we do it again, because she got hooked on it, because it's that kind of pose, right? If you've taken yoga with me before, you know I refer to this as my magic yoga party trick pose, and I truly believe that's what it is. So What we focused on is lengthening from the heel out. Not so much in an effort to lengthen the back of the leg, which is what will happen. It's a byproduct of that, but to lengthen the arch of the foot, which is kind of a forgotten place, right? But this time of year, when we tend to wear flip-flops and sandals and shoes that are very, very, very flat and have no arch in them at all, plantar fasciitis tends to crop up on people. And if you've never had it before, it's really, really, really uncomfortable. I had it for a couple months a few years ago, and it was really, really, really uncomfortable. And for me, I totally understand why I got it. I'm flat-footed by nature. I tend to wear flip-flops or Ugg-like boots. These really old Adidas tennis shoes that I've had forever that have no arch in them whatsoever. The only time I really wear an arch is if I wear fancy shoes or my running shoes, which I wear every day, but only for like an hour and a half a day. So anytime I can lengthen the arch and just put a little bit of thought there to kind of ward off around a plantar fasciitis, then I do it, because I know that it's better than the alternative. And when you lengthen the arch and are paying attention to that part of your foot, just by the nature of the poses that you're doing, the back of your leg is going to get involved and lengthen as well. So then it works its way up your leg from the Achilles into the calf, into the back of the knee, into the back of the thigh where the hamstrings are, and then right down into the back of the hip. So that's what we focused on in my class Monday night and this morning. And we're going to do an abridged version of that today and do the strappy poses, just because you can take your time with them and really make them feel good. Pull your knees into your chest, drop your legs over to your right, coming into a twist, the same as always. I'm nothing if not a creature of habit when it comes to how I start my yoga classes, right? I can't get comfortable. I'm not tight, but I'm not comfortable. You know what I mean? Costco anxiety. That feels better. So legs are going to the right. You're looking straight up, or you're looking towards your left hand, and your left arm is unrolled out to your side, palm up, with the whole back of the arm flat on the ground. I taught a kids class this morning. On Friday mornings, I teach a children's class at 10:15. And we were outside in front of the community center, and we've been in the same spot for the last 3 weeks. And a sheriff's department truck pulled up and asked the girls to pick up their mats and put them up on the sidewalk, and kind of lectured about how that was a really unsafe place for them to be. I don't know, like, it's where we were told to go. So, but these poor little girls, they're only in 3rd grade, and they were so panicky that a police officer pulled over and was talking to us and was talking to them. One of them looked like she was going to cry. One of them thought we were being arrested. It caused a little commotion. So it was a little hard to settle them back down after that happened, but but everything was fine. We started talking about Ariana Grande and the shows they're watching on Netflix, and we did a couple back bends, and order was restored to the class. Bring your knees up to center, find your happy baby, or one hand on each knee with the legs going wide due to the weight of your legs, weight of your arms, just bringing a stretch to your inner thigh and your inner groin muscles. And your hips, but you tend to feel it more in the inner thigh and inner groin muscles, unless your hips are super, super, super creaky right now, which they might be. Bring the legs into center, drop the legs over to the left, let the legs settle, ground them first, stack them, inner knee to inner knee, inner heel to inner heel, inner arch to inner arch, big toe to big toe, as best as you can, and then unroll the right arm out to your side with the palm up, and try to get the whole back of the arm flat on the ground. And then either look straight up or look towards the right fingertips whichever works best for you. Every morning I go out and walk like 3.5 or 4 miles. And I try to get out there early because it was so hot in July, and I found that if I didn't go early, any other time of the day, it was god awful. It didn't matter if it was noon or 2 in the afternoon or 6 o'clock at night, it was just brutal. And the morning's not much better, but this morning I had a little bit of hope in that it felt a little less humid. But this happens every day. I walk a couple blocks, and I'm usually talking to my best friend or my brother, and I think, oh, it's a little less humid. This is good. Things are better. And then within 5 minutes, I'm sweating like I just took a shower, and it's a big fake out. So that's what happened today. It's a little bit gray out today, but I think tomorrow is supposed to be sunny. We are planning on going to the beach again because that's pretty much what we live for right now, beach days. Bring your knees up to center, happy baby, one hand on each knee, going wide, letting the weight of your arms pull you wide. So here was an interesting question this morning in class. A friend of mine is taking the class, and he said that when he lays flat in his back and he has his legs either pulled in like this or let me think. How did he word it? Okay, come out of your happy baby. Bring your legs out long in front of you. Notice what your low back does, right? The minute your legs stretch out in front of you, your low back on most people will usually arch up a little bit. And it becomes a slightly deeper bend in the low back than what might normally be your natural curvature. And for most people, for a limited amount of time, it's not a big deal. It's fine. But there are some people that can't sleep on their back or can't lay on their back on the couch or on the beach or, just in general, because that natural curve becomes much more distinct and it's not comfortable for them. So if you're one of those people, what you want to do instead of, if you have props like blankets or blocks, you can always prop yourself up. But also, just bend your knees up, bring your feet wide, and tower your knees in towards one another. And that flattens out your low back and should release any discomfort that you feel from an exaggerated curve that laying flat produces, right? So that's just an option. It was a good question. Nobody ever asked me that, and I know that, and I see some people struggle with laying flat in their back, and I'll walk over and whisper, you can bend your knees, and I think people don't want to do it because they don't think it's the right thing to do. But in yoga, the beauty of yoga is that the right thing to do is whatever feels best for you. So if fixing your low back and making it more comfortable feels best for you, but you're not doing the same thing as your neighbor, then you're doing the right thing, right? Okay, so legs are out long in front of you. I want you to hug your knees in, rock yourself up to a comfortable seated position, and come into a wide-legged stance. Sorry, my kitchen door just shut, my back door, because my son is going out biking with his best friend. All right, wide-legged stance. Get comfy here. Reach underneath your butt, your tush. Pull yourself wide so that you feel like you're sitting up on the bones that are in there and you're not slouching as much. It kind of enables you to bring, like we just talked about, a little curve to your low back, but also sit up straighter and taller, which is what you want. Flex your feet, press out through your heels, pull the toes back so that you're lengthening the arch of your foot, and in turn, you'll feel everything in the back of your leg engage, right? And then start to make circles here. Just moving yourself around in your pelvic girdle, opening up the hips a little bit, creating some space that might be a little bit crunchy, where you might need a little bit of room. Go in the other direction. I like this. This feels soothing to me. I didn't start to appreciate the simplicity of this until probably just 6 months ago. I guess like when all this craziness started, and I started really, really being much more faithful with my own home practice. But sometimes just moving and not necessarily focusing on a specific pose, but just moving feels like the best thing to do, right? Walk your hands out, come on down onto wherever you're comfortable. I always say forearms, but I don't mean to pressure you or make you think that's where you need to be. Forearms works for me. Some people go all the way down with their chest to the floor. Just come down to wherever you're comfortable. If that's way up here and that's your forward bend right now, bravo, that's great. But just come down to where you're comfortable. Lead with the heart. Look up. You don't want to round the head down because I don't really care how far you go. I just want you to do it with a hinge in your hip and a flat back. Find your breath here. See if you can settle a little into the pose and a little bit into your breath. You know, it's Friday. It's the end of another week. I counted the days yesterday. I don't know about all of you, but I count quarantine days from the Saturday after my kids got out of school. So today would be day 146. So, you know, it's the end of another week. It's day 146. And maybe you just need to take some nice deep breaths, right? Yeah, I know I do. A lot. Walk over to your right. Let's just lengthen out the spine. Try to keep the back of the right leg flat on the ground. Grip anything that you can, anything that's comfortable. Use your right hand to do it. And pull yourself down. Engage the core. Create a little bit more space in this lower area. And just see how low you can get. But again, lead with your heart. Don't round your head. Don't drop your head to get lower. Flat back, leading with your heart. Once you get the extension, then you can start to lower into the pose more. But you want to get as much length out of the tailbone towards the crown of the head as you can. Come on back to center. And then one more time to the middle. Also, I wanted to mention there is a yogi in my Friday morning class named Joan, and Joan makes beautiful cotton face masks, reusable face masks. She was sweet enough to gift me with one today, and it's really, really well made, very nicely done. If anyone is interested in purchasing them, you can get in touch with me and I can give you Joan's email and then you can reach out to her. But they're very nicely made and you can wash them and reuse them so you don't have to worry about buying new ones or wasting them or whatever the case is. And she had lots and lots of patterns, really cute. So let me know if you would like Joan's information. Walk your hands up, come on up to center. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 2 shoulder openers with the strap, which I'm sure we have done in the last 138 classes. And then we're gonna go into our hip opener. We're gonna take our time with it. And because you will end the hip opener lying on your back, we're gonna go right from the hip opener into Shavasana. So like I said, it's an abbreviated class. We're not doing a ton of stuff, but we're going to do effective things for the shoulders and the hip. And then it'll bring you right into a really nice Shavasana where you can just settle right into your mat without a lot of movement. Okay? So grab your strap and come on up to a comfortable seated position, whatever that is for you. Nice Starbucks. Okay, arms are out, strap is in front of you. See, this strap is an 8-footer. This is the brand I like, Hugger Mugger by Prana. I've had these forever, probably since Alex was born, probably since before Alex was born. But they're a really nice 100% cotton canvas, And when you wash them, they get softer and softer and softer. They're a little stiff when you first buy them, but they soften up. You want to make sure that if you're going to purchase one, it's got the 2 rings. That's important because some things you do, you'll loop and you'll make it tight and you'll want to know that it supports you. We're not using them today, but in general, you want the double ring strap. So strap is out in front. Try to even it out, just, you know, so that it's easier to work with. And then on an inhale, start like this. Hands are a little wider than shoulders. Bring it up. Now, what you want to do is bring it straight down behind you, but where your arms are, it might not work. I have to go a lot wider, and then I can do it. And then I know where my arms need to be, so I'm going to keep them in that position. So for this pose, we're going to do, we'll just do 5, but one movement is up, over, up, over. That's 1. And the way you breathe on it is to inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. Okay, so it's 2 full breaths per posture, and 1 complete movement of the pose is up and over, and then over and back. Okay, so we're going to do 5 of these together. Go wide, and then go up, and then go as wide as you need to be able to go up and over. So start in front and find your breath. And I'm not going to count, but just count in your head or watch the video, okay? In your room, please. Not a lot of Zen with the 9-year-olds. That's the truth. Okay, that's 2. 3. When you are done with your 5, I was going to say hold your strap in front of you so I know you're done, but that's not going to help me in the least. Sometimes I forget. When I teach my real classes, I talk just as much as I do right now, if not more, even though this is a lot of nervous energy and talking. Come on, Cam, in your room, please. And no one ever talks back. So it's very similar for me to just talk and not have a response. That's not new. Occasionally someone will talk back, but it's very rare. So the next one that we're going to do for our shoulders is the same. You're going to start in the same position. Go wide, about shoulder height. Shoulder height, a little wider than shoulder width. Go up. So we're going to start with our right arm. We're going to slide it all the way down so that you look like an air traffic controller. And then we're going to start to move our arms back behind us. And you're feeling this in the middle of your back where your shoulder blades come together, as well as in your biceps and a little bit down into your side body, right? And you can play a little. You can go higher with one and lower with the other. You just want to figure out what targets the tight spots and then stay there. And then we're going to come up and we can keep the same width because it's going to be pretty similar on the other side. Left arm is going to drop down, right arm is going to stay up. And we're going to feel it, maybe, I feel this in a whole different spot. I feel this more in my mid-back than I did in my upper back, which was on the first side. Come on up and over. Release your straps. And then because that's a lot of bringing the shoulder blades together on our back, we're going to do the opposite action and just come into one more forward bend. Find your extension and then release into the pose. And then come on up. So lie on your back with your strap in your hand or whatever you're using as a strap. If you're not using a strap, what you're going to do is bend your knee in, pointer finger and middle finger, yogi toe lock around the big toe. Get a good grip on that sucker, and your arm is going to be your strap. Not quite the same, but the best you can do if you don't have anything you can use. But a scarf, a belt, like I said, a long, thicker piece of ribbon, anything like that would work, okay? Lay on your back, put your legs straight up in the air, and put the strap around the ball of your feet. So the strap is going to go around the big bump under your big toes. That's where you want it. And the reason you want it there, and I was explaining this morning, is because if you put it any place else, you're not going to get the same foot flex. If you put it around the ball of your the ball of your foot under your big toe, and you pull down on both feet, the toe part of your foot, the front part of your foot, is automatically going to fold down, which is going to lift the heel high, which is going to lengthen the arch for you. So you want to make sure the strap is in the right position. And you want to keep it there throughout the whole pose. And on the leg where you might not have a strap sometimes, you want to keep your foot still in that position. So, legs are straight up in the air, strap is around the ball of your feet. One of the trickier parts of this pose is figuring out where to hold the strap. I like to hold it straight up and straighten my arms as much as I can throughout the whole entire pose. Some people like to hold it lower and have a bend and be able to rest the back of their arms down on the ground. So figure it out, play with it a little. You have a while to figure it out because this is a little bit more of a therapeutic pose than a really aggressive pose. And we're going to hang out here for a little while. But I promise you, if you've done this before, you know it's true, you're going to feel a really good instant result as soon as we're done. It's worth it. I don't have any lip balm on right now. It's making me nuts, but I think there's some in the pocket of this windbreaker that I wear when I walk all the time because I probably look super crazy because it's like, 95 degrees. And I have that army green long parka wrapped around my waist all the time because it has really big pockets. And in one side, I can hold my vitamin water and my Marshmallow Dream facial stick. And in the other side, I can have my phone and my earbuds and my keys. So I wear it for the pockets because most of my yoga pants don't have pockets. So keep the legs up there. I didn't forget you're there. Keep pressing out through the back of your knees to straighten the legs as much as you can, which may fire up your hamstrings, but that's fine, right? And keep flexing the feet. I talked about this in the beginning of quarantine when I thought I was Oprah and I reviewed my favorite products. This is a no-brainer though. It's a marshmallow moisture stick. It's organic, it's all natural, it smells delicious and it goes on really smooth and it doesn't irritate at all. But the best part about this is it's for everywhere. So I put it under my eyes, rub it in a little. It's lip balm. It's for everywhere. So when I leave the house to go out in the morning to work out, I don't put on moisturizer because when I sweat, it runs down my forehead behind my sunglasses and it's disgusting. This I will put on because this absorbs and it doesn't sweat off. And I love it. The brand is Treat, T-R-E-A-T, and I buy these on Amazon. They just came out with a new flavor of an all-over moisture stick. I'm not sure what it is, but I need to go on and take a peek because I love this. I love this. I love this. This would be my one beauty item that you could take to an island where you were going to be stranded. This would be the one. This would be it. All right, so legs are still up there. You're still pressing out through the back of your knee. You're going to take your right leg out of the strap, bend the knee down, lengthen the leg out long, and bring it all the way down to the mat, but keep the foot flexed. So keep the toes back, keep the heel pressing forward, continue to press out through the back of the knee so that you're trying to get the leg flat on the mat. It's probably never going to go completely flat on the mat, but you're going to try and you're muscularly going to work it, okay? So now the strap is around the ball of the left foot. Right arm is going to come out to your side, palm up. Did I do that right? The strap is around which leg? Darn it. Okay, I'm just going to refer to it as the leg with the strap around it because I can't see you, so I'm not sure. The strap with the leg around it, you're going to hold the strap in the same hand. So if the strap's around the left leg, you're going to hold the straps in the left hand. If the strap's around the right leg, you're going to hold the straps in the right hand. Darn it, I'm sorry. All right, this is going to be really wordy. The opposite arm is going to come out to your side with the palm up. Now, the trick for this part of the pose is to not let the back of your hip, I can't do it this way. Put the strap around the ball of your right foot if it's not. I think it's around the right foot because that's typically the leg I would start with. Left leg out long on the mat in front of you, right leg up in the air with the strap around the ball of the right foot. I'm sorry, but I don't know how to teach it if I don't know what leg it's around. Okay? So left arm is out at your side, palm up. Straps are being held with the right hand. Got it? So you're going to lower the leg out to the right, but you're not going to let it touch the floor. You don't want to just lazily lay it on the floor. You're going to keep it up above the floor. And the way that you'll know how low to go is if the back of your left hip starts to roll up because the leg is pulling you to the right, then you need to come back up to center, stop the leg where it is, and ground down through the back of your hips. You don't want your left butt cheek to roll up off the floor. Okay? And because you've got the strap around the ball of the right foot, that foot is flexing nicely. Might even be shaking a little, which would be fine. Don't forget the left leg that's out long in front of you. Flex that foot as well. Got it? We're going to hang out here for a minute or two. What you're doing, I was talking about this morning, and I was explaining that this is truly one of my very favorite yoga poses because you've probably heard me say that I love the anatomy part of yoga. I love picturing the poses in my head. I love figuring out how something will affect you muscularly if you move this way or if you move this way or if you pull forward or pull back. I love that part of it. I loved anatomy in college. I was a clinical dietitian in long-term care before I had my kids, so I took a lot of anatomy in college, and I loved anatomy. And I think that's why I'm so drawn to yoga, because I love thinking it through. But if you can picture what you're doing right now from an anatomical standpoint by pressing the leg out to the side, pressing the ball of the foot into the strap, pressing out through the heel, you're letting the femur, which is the biggest bone in your body, that giant thigh bone, you're letting it slide out of the hip socket a little bit towards the heel. And you're creating a little pocket of space in that hip joint. So that's typically a very tight place on most people because of the way we walk or work out or flex our foot when we're driving our car or the shoes we wear or a million different things that we do. The hips are traditionally a little bit tighter than we might want them to be, but very often we're so used to the way they feel that we don't realize they're tight. We're just thinking that's how our body feels. This is a fix-all. This is a game-changer pose. So we're letting the femur slide out of the hip socket. We're creating some space in there. We're going to bring it, not yet, but in a second, we're going to bring it back up. We're going to let the femur slide back in, and then we're going to roll to the opposite side, adjust the alignment, bring it back up to center, and then when we lower it down, it's going to be the most perfectly placed femur that a hip socket ever saw. And you're going to feel the difference almost right away. So bring that leg up to center, take one strap in each hand and pull down. So the left leg is still out long in front of you on the mat. The right leg is up in the air with the strap around the ball of the right foot. So much better. I am a lip balm junkie. Every pocket, every little basket, every car I'm in, every handbag has like 4 or 5. I'm an addict. I'm an actual addict to lip balms. I'm very picky though about tinted ones and all natural ones. Burt's Bees, I do not like at all. They make my lips sting. They have something in them that's supposed to plump your lips, and it actually, I think I'm allergic to it. It actually really irritates me and bothers me. But Treats, I love Treat lip balms, and they're big, they last a long time. So they're a little bit more expensive than like, you know, a CVS or an EOS, but they're worth it. All right, take both straps into the left hand. Bring the right arm out to your side with the palm up. This time, you're not going to worry about the butt cheek. You're going to worry about the back of the right shoulder. You want the whole back of the right arm to stay on the ground from the shoulder out through the fingertips. So start to lower the right leg across your body. Stop when it's about hip height, so don't bring it to the floor. And make sure that the back of the right arm is fully grounded and flat on the ground beside you. And then flex both your feet. So did you guys lose power? Is anyone still out of power? I know that around the corner from me, I think that they're still out of power because I can still hear their generator when I go out to my car. I believe a telephone pole and a tree came down and it blacked out the whole area, the whole grid, I guess. We were out for about maybe 8 hours, and thankfully it went back on the same night around 11:30, but we had nice candles lit. We were all ready to go to bed. Everyone was just starting to doze off. And then like 11:15, TVs went on, video games went on, lights went on, microwaves started beeping, Alexas were going crazy. Like everything woke up and startled us so much that we all jumped out of bed screaming. So it was very peaceful with our nice candles lit and everyone was reading in bed and fell apart quickly. But thankfully we got our power back. So this is the trickier side to hold the strap. This is the more uncomfortable side, right? I know. I promise you it's worth it though. Bring your leg up to center, one strap in each hand, pull down. So this is the final part of the alignment. This is the final part of aligning the femur in the hip socket. Pull down, flex the foot that's in the air, flex the foot that's on the ground, your left leg. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, slowly lower that foot down to the ground and just settle. And take a minute to notice the difference between your right hip and your left and how good that right side feels, right? So simple, so effective, so easy to do on your own at home. And you just like reset your whole body on the right side from the waist down. It's kind of an amazing pose. Some of you have heard me say this. Some of you maybe are doing this for the first time with me, but your right leg should even feel longer than your left. When I did this morning with my morning adult group, there were some people in the class that have never taken yoga with me before, and one of my very favorite things is when they sit up to look at their legs because they're thinking one is longer than the other, and they take a quick peek to see if there's actually a longer leg. I love that. That makes me feel so good. So we're going to do the other leg. So now the right leg is going to stay down on the mat. Left leg is going to go in the air with the strap around the ball of the left foot. One strap in each hand. Press out through the back of the left knee. Press up through the left heel and pull down. So what we're doing now is kind of grounding it down, pressing out any air bubbles that might be in the synovial fluid, which is the fluid that lubricates your joints. And then we're going to shift it out in just a second and create that big pocket of space. I don't have to cook dinner tonight, which I love. We are going to pick up takeout from my husband's restaurant and bring it down to my parents so that my mom doesn't have to cook either. And we will, if it doesn't rain, we will sit on the front lawn in beach chairs and they will sit on their front porch and we will have a fake quarantine picnic. But no one will have to cook. So that's amazing. That's amazing. That's amore. All right, take both straps in the left hand, right arm out to your side, palm up. Start to lower that left leg out to the side, but remember, this is the move where you want to keep track of the back of the right hip. You don't want it to lift. You want it to stay nice and flat and engaged with whatever you're lying on. Okay? So the minute that leg goes a little bit too low, you're going to feel it because the hip is going to start to lift. And you're going to lift the leg back up, settle the back of the hip down, and then just breathe into the pose. Remember to flex the right foot, press the back of the right knee down into the ground. Remember to flex the left foot by pulling the strap firmly and press out through the back of the left knee at the same time. So just in case you're not aware, these virtual classes are being brought to you courtesy of the Cedar Grove Library. Originally, it was the Cedar Grove Parks and Recreation Department, and then the library jumped on board as well. And now that the rec department is offering live classes, these classes are being provided by just the library. But it's so nice that they're available and that anyone can do them at any time. There was a little pullback in the beginning. Some people really wanted me to do them Zoom, and not only did I not have time to do them Zoom because I was homeschooling, it was spring, it was March, and I was homeschooling Cam. Alex is good on his own, but Cam really needs like someone to sit with them for most of the process. So there was no good time for me to be available to do Zoom unless we did it at like 10 o'clock at night, and nobody wants to do yoga at 10 o'clock at night. So I kind of fought hard to maintain the YouTube platform, and I think it's worked out really well because we've got 38 classes. We have a library of 38 classes available online right now, and you can go back and take any one you want at any time, day or night, Monday through Monday. If you have favorites, you can earmark them and only do those classes. I think it worked out really well. But my point in saying this is that make sure the next time you're able to go to the library or you see one of our lovely librarians, just let them know that you're appreciating the classes and that you're thankful that they're providing them, because it's a nice service. I know the library is trying to do a lot. They're offering online art classes. I think the chair yoga is available right now. There's a stretching for seniors class available right now. The library is really doing a fantastic job of trying to reach out to the community. All right, bring that leg up to center. Take one strap in each hand, pull down. So this is the part of the pose where you're realigning the femur in the hip socket, but you're doing it in a way that it's meant to be and not just the way that your life shoves it in there, you know? You can also get books out of the library, which has been great for me because I'm a reader. I love to read. I love to read in bed at night for a really long time. I can go through a book pretty quick. And I don't love reading online. I have a Kindle, I have an iPad, I have my iPhone. I don't love reading online, especially in the summer, because I want to read outside, I want to read on the beach, I want to, do things like that. So you can go onto the library website, you can request a hold on books that you want, and then one of the librarians will call you and let you know that they're available and ask you when you want to come pick them up. And they wrap them up in a bag, they put your name on them, and they leave them outside on a little rolling cart for you, and you can just go pick them up. It's fantastic. So I have really appreciated that as well. All right, take both straps around the left leg, bring them into your right hand, extend your left arm out to your side, palm up, roll onto the outside of the right hip, but pay attention to the back of the left arm. You want that to stay flush on the ground as you extend out through the bottom of the left heel. See why I had to start over and know what leg you were holding? Because I had to be able to left and right you on this. I couldn't just half guess it. It wouldn't have worked. So keep the back of the left arm down, extend out through the right leg. I jokingly call this pose one of my yoga party tricks, but I remember a long time ago, I've always got yoga stuff in the trunk of my truck, and I remember being at a barbecue at my mom's best friend's house, and her son-in-law was there who runs marathons, super fit, super athletic guy, and he was talking about how he's so tight in the back of his legs, his hamstrings, and I said, I know a trick for that. And I ran out to my car and got a couple straps and laid him down on his mother-in-law's living room floor. And we did this pose, and indeed, it was my party trick for the day. And I don't know if he still does it or not. He still runs, but it literally was a magical party trick for that day. I know it's a lot of work, and I know you're holding things for a long period of time, and I know it's really hard on your arms. I sympathize with all of that, but I also know that the reward is really good on this one, and that kind of makes it worth it. It's sort of like what they say
about childbirth. Like, it's so hard and awful and painful, but then you forget about it when you have the baby. I personally have not forgotten about any of it because it was wretched both times. But you know, this is a little bit easier than childbirth. So hopefully the reward at the end is better than the hard work you're putting into it right now. Bring your leg up to center, left leg up to center, one strap in each hand, pull down nice and firmly on the straps, and just give that leg one last chance for the femur to really settle in the hip socket, but do it in such a way that it feels good and it doesn't feel tight and crammed and crummy, you know? And then take a big breath in, and on the exhale, lower the leg all the way down to the floor in front of you. And from here, you're gonna close your eyes, drop the strap, and just let your body melt. Let every single muscle in your body become fluid and just melt down onto your mat, onto your rug, whatever you're practicing on today. Close your eyes and just start to find a nice, smooth, even breath. Let your mind wander. Take a minute, as always, to thank yourself for stopping your day and giving yourself this time for self-care and a little bit of self-love, right? And then, as always, start at the top of your head and work your way down your body, noticing how you're feeling. You know, I don't usually say this, but I just want to make a point of saying this today. Include your mind, include your brain, include, you know, not just how your head's feeling, like, oh, I have a little headache or I have allergies. Take a quick assessment of your mental state. You know, I know that there are days for me where I'm more anxious about the world situation than others, and it certainly comes into my yoga practice and into my workouts. And I usually, if I pay attention to it at the beginning, by the end, I feel significantly better. I feel significantly less stressed, less like a tight ball of stressful energy. And I'm hoping that that's what you're feeling right now. My hope is always for you that you'll leave our time together feeling better than when you first turned YouTube on. But mentally is just as important as physically, if not more so, right? So hopefully you're lying here on the mat and you're just feeling in general really, really good. That's what I want for you. Eyes are closed, find the breath. We're gonna lay here for a minute or so. All right, guys, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes a little bit. Just start to bring a little bit of movement back into your body. Maybe take a really big stretch by pointing your toes and your feet down in one direction, interlacing the hands, pressing out through the palms towards the wall behind you, and just lengthening from the waist out in two directions. And when you're ready, pull the knees in, roll over to your right, press up to a comfortable seated position, or just roll up to a comfortable seated position. Eyes are going to stay closed, hands come to the heart in prayer. Press the palms together so that the elbows lift a little. Nice big full breath in. Exhale the breath. One more inhale. Namaste. Good job. Good job, you guys. I hope that felt good. I hope that was what you needed to end your week and to move into your weekend. Try not to do anything to screw your hips up. I don't really know how to guide you in that direction because I think everything we do screws our hips up a little. So if you can just stay laying on the floor for the next 4 days until we meet again, that would be fantastic. But otherwise, try to remember what we did today and do any combination of what we did. Any little combination of stringing things together will give you that same spaciousness in the hip socket and will give you that relief and that length. Okay? So have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and healthy and try to get outside and enjoy the sunshine tomorrow. And I will see you again on Wednesday if I don't see you sooner than that, okay? Take care, friends. Thank you.